Thanks for staying with us. So we're still on our Feel Good Friday topics. And, you know, Omakri is like our assistant producer on this show. He says some things and we just think, what is this man saying? Anyway, he recently came up with another angle. Reno said that it is very hard for a single woman to satisfy the libido of an average man. According to him, he said that that any man, like, let me try to understand what he said. He said we would not counsel any man to marry more than one wife. That's what he wouldn't do. But polygamy, according to him, is better than fornication. He says that polygamy is only forbidden for bishops, general overseers, elders in church. That monogamy, you know, when I was reading this stuff, I'm thinking to myself, it's not a regular person that becomes a Geo. It's not a regular citizen, a regular Christian that becomes a general overseer or that a Jew and everything. So, anyways, he is now saying that we must consider the fact that it is better to have multiple partners than to fornicate or to commit adultery. Yes, that's the word. Anyway, what are your thoughts on this? Because recently we discussed polygamy extensively, although people were saying that we didn't defend monogamy enough. You know, I had a few people that called me said that we shouldn't project that polygamy is the only option. It isn't. There are monogamous relationships that work perfectly, and we must be able to also defend that properly. But in your view, if he's saying that it is difficult to satisfy one woman, to satisfy a man, it's not possible. Can't a man be really beside? No, we're not men on this table. I would like to hear men.
Yeah, so tell us.
I would like to hear a man to call on the show. Please call us on 08127053687, 09139076694. You can also tweet us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag your view TVC so we can read your tweets. Remember, it's a breakfast show, so we choose our words carefully when we talk about things like this.
I'll start by asking a question. Who gave him that statistics? Who defined that satisfaction? Because what I see is just excuses for bad behavior. You make excuses because you want variety. You're tired of eating ogbono soup. You want to mix it with a goosey and vegetable, and so you come up with excuses. But if you ask women the question, most times, I counsel married women, and I know that most times, what I hear is different from what the husband is bragging about. So you hear things like, oh, before I even do jack, you hear things like...
It's like Toto Dike.
You hear things like,
women,
it's nothing, you cannot even... You just hear things, and you're and this man is out there, bragging, you know, bragging and feeling good with himself.
10 horsepower.
So for men, like...
Elijah, you know about horsepower?
Before, no, I'm just saying that the man will be saying I'm a 10 horsepower. I didn't say that I know.
Half horsepower.
Elijah.
Very half. And so, you know, I was having a conversation with our producer this morning on this topic, and he was saying that for men, really, it's not about the duration or how the performance. It's not about the performance. It's about the fact that they can say, I have touched here, touched there. They can look at 5 women and say, how many you don't cancel? That was the word he used. And I said, and that's so unfair because you make it seem like the women cannot satisfy. I have judged cases where a woman is chasing the man up and down that, come on, you have not done anything. You have not done anything. And also, I advise people when you want to get married, make sure that you marry a man or a woman that matches your libido. Everybody has their match. So what we
how would you know?
You will know.
How would you know? You can ask Beecee. How do we know?
On live TV, but there are tips I will tell you later on how you will know that your libido
Beecee, the sexual professor.
Yes. Niche. Me. I went for somebody's libido that we match because all those stories they are telling me, I like duration. So you will match my duration, and unfortunately and unfortunately for me, we are matching each other's duration back to back. So there's no room. When you have finished 45 minutes, there's no room to be looking at another person.
45 minutes? That's a long ass time, girl.
You get away with your husbands get away with 5 minutes, 2 minutes here. That's why they have time and energy to go for other things.
Hey, Obiajulu has finished me this morning. Calm down, relax, drink your water.
Yeah, please.
Elijah, I'm coming to you.
Don't even try to hide your face.
Elijah, Nemat.
Because you are glowing recently.
I thought of something that I couldn't stop.
Roti, can you buy?
Kept woman.
How do we handle this
We're
matter?
fasting now.
You were fasting, did not do.
We were fasting actually. And we're no.
Let us talk.
Okay, let me why you are thinking.
The truth is that while I was on the break, it was just for prayers. My husband was also on leave. So there was really no room for... So I'm just wondering where these statistics are coming from. You know, there's a worry saying. They say, man, no go borrow a neighbor thing. They take care of your wife. The meaning, worry people know. It is the size God give you, the energy God give you, the libido God give you. You work match each other. You see, this testing up and down is what is causing problem. If both of you start afresh, you will grow in tune with each other's standard, and that's the standard.
Let us dwell on what Beecee said, because I think what she said is very important. A lot of Nigerian men brag a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
But many of them are clueless, because thank God, the kind of job we do, we get women calling us for different things.
Even men telling us.
Even men, yes, there's a few men that have called me, but let's talk about, let's put some men on the spot to this one, because there's a particular woman that sent me a message. I'll try to see if I can dig it up. First of all, she thought that because the husband was extra large, so she thought, okay, well, I'll be good, right? So she assumed. So she never did before. She just thought that because I have extra large, I'll be good. Except that the guy just
extra large doesn't
know how to, doesn't mean. So that doesn't know how to use. There's a problem.
You learn the skill.
So she's there thinking that, but she's out there feeling pain all the time.
No enjoyment.
While other people are bragging about extra large, and they are saying, oh man, and she's like, yeah, one is a painful topic.
Yeah, so there are two parts of this conversation that I would like to see how I can quickly put together. So first of all is the fact that when we talk about a man's libido, when people say that, they never also consider the woman's libido. How many men can match a woman's libido?
They're not the
Truly, And we have a huge market of all sorts of products for men so that they can go longer, be bigger, and things like that. This does not say to me that we have men who are confident in their duration. This shows to me that there are men out there seeking help, and they are trying all sorts of things. And just as a warning, do not try those products. They harm you more than they help you. And then we need to also talk, the second part of the conversation is where are men learning how to be husbands and intimate partners. We've talked about educating men and men bringing up men, our boys, and raising them. And we have said that for most boys, they learn from their peers. We don't have fathers involved with their children like that. Many men have learned about intimate relations from sites that, we do not encourage. And those sites do not show wholesome, intimate relationships. What they show is, for the action. And our children are raised on that, and they transfer it into their homes. So you find them struggling. So men need to do better jobs of raising their children. Churches, where a lot of us want to take our children because we feel that they try and raise us morally, sexual education is part of that. So those are
mistaken me somewhere that I think is also interesting. Thank you very much, because this part of religiosity, and I'll come to you also, and thank God you're on the show today, because there are a lot of mommy geos, a lot of women in church who are too embarrassed or too ashamed to express what they want, in this situation. They feel that, listen, it's unholy to talk about it. It's not right for me to want more. Inside their body, they want more, but they don't want to say it because they feel that, okay, I should be content with what I had. This is what God has given me.
Let me manage
it to the day I die. Can these relationships be salvaged? And as a Muslim woman, do you teach Muslim women how to enjoy, and men how to sort of...
So we call it sisters, how angle women to women talk about it. Once in a while we bring in a man who's talking to women only, and there's always a screen that allows women to talk about what their sexual experiences are. What I know is that this is a must-have conversation. I'm gifted, though, in my own marriage to be able to talk about it freely. I usually say to my husband, I didn't like today. I don't like it. I have pains. And then we went to sought help. I got my traditional womb setting help, and things changed. And so we know the progress, everything. And I've talked freely. And I always say it in places where I've spoken about, sexual relations in marriage, that, if you do not have a partner, that while you're dating, you can even ask what was your sex experience before like, and the person can be honest with you about it.
To give
it's
you
a problem
counts.
Because, so body counts, because there's a problem, and your sexual exposure. I deliberately used to ask, are you pornographic in any way? I just wanted to know. Yes.
Maybe pornographic.
If you are exposed to it, you watch it.
Okay.
So that I don't become your animal head. Because fortunately, while I was still single, I had a relative, actually, my auntie, who had married like me. And herself and her husband thought it was the way to get exposed. So they bought a lot of those cameras, and they got injured, ended up in the hospital. So it was, I'm serious. So it was something that I thought never. So I used to ask, so that while I'm thinking somebody is treating me in a certain way, I'm not being a bag to anybody. So such conversations, people shy from it. And then it's also good to come from a family where you're exposed. This conversation that I'm having about sex, I didn't have it with my mom, I had it with my dad.
Wow.
Yes. And he will say, this is, so I can talk it. So some people, I know that in some Muslim circle, when I was Amira in Lasso, and I was having somebody looked at me terribly, like, what kind of trashy, because I said, they deceive yourself. When time reach, you're really hungry, when he catch you, you go talk, say you're hungry. Yeah. So these are things that they are needs.
Let me take this message. I got this message from somebody. Say, Mariah, this topic you're talking about is very, very crucial. We did a survey with 150 women, and 85% of them said that they're not sexually satisfied.
Before women.
85 women. 85% are not sexually satisfied. So why are these Nigerian men feeling really big?
They don't know. Because
women are shamed.
Good. So
women are shamed when they try to talk about it.
Yes.
Women are made to
all these Nigerian men that are looking at us, and many of them now, they know this is bragado, the man, so that's all they have.
You know, when I went to Botswana just before COVID, I had some conversation with Botswanan girls, and we're talking about, hey, you're Nigerian and stuff. How do you like Nigerian men? Blah, blah, blah. I was asking them questions. And what I heard was, your men brag a lot. Yes. And I said, how? How do you mean? They say, they know how to take care of you. They will do this, they will do that compared to our men. But when it comes to that part, they are not very exposed. They just want to go in and just rush out. They don't take their time. And I've been called on several sex-related issues to talk about it. And what I realize is that we don't have, women will gather and talk about how do I position, how do I wash up, how do I do this, so that, and we learn from one another. But I don't see men that open to learn from one another. So they don't tell themselves the truth. They lie. When they gather, they will be like, I finished that one, slip off. I do this one, I do this. Tell yourselves the truth. Ask yourself questions. Ask yourself, how do I have a conversation? And it's not a plug and play sort of setting. You must talk in the process and ask questions.
And please don't speak Yoruba.
Yeah.
Why?
I think
whatever you expect.
I guess. But some people find it a turn off when you're speaking local language.
Your
problem is too much Telemundo.
No.
So you want them to speak. No. That's how some people start. Have you seen some weddings where they kiss as if they are doing Telemundo? No, it's a fight kissing. Forgive me.
Yeah, because
it's a fight kissing, because that's the exposure you see. You think kissing is now a fight.
No.
People will put you.
So if you don't, whatever it is that you don't like in that place, you communicate with your partner. And your partner should be open enough to accept it and not feel his ego is bruised. Because men have a lot of ego, and that's why they don't calm down. They don't humble themselves to have this conversation. And most of the women are in their houses languishing. And you're wondering, but I give you everything. I do this, I do that. Why are you still looking out?
But the same man's language.
A man has called. Let us take us to the man has called.
Tell us.
It's our Olaji Day. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
They say, oh, you're bragado, and I just bragado. Now, mouth Nigerian men gets, action. Is it true?
Okay. Let me just start by the issue of the monogamy and polygamy.
Okay.
All right. My input is, you see, even if you give a man 100 wives, he will still cheat or date or want out of more than that 100. The point is, a man can't get satisfied. Do you get? What I think is the way we are wired. That's the
why are you like that?
Generally, generally, a woman, before a woman gives herself out, it used to go down to interest, emotion, feelings. But a man just wants to get out there and move. You see, so, and it takes two to tango. This is, sex is something that involves two people. Now, but what's their motive? What drives them to have it? If it is different, then either of the party may not be satisfied. Most of the time, men just go short one, and once a man comes, that's all. He has reached his apogee. He has enjoyed that session. A woman generally takes longer peace.
Thank you, Mr. Olajide. We're trying to be very... This is a hard conversation to have in the morning. So we're trying really to use the right words so we don't get fined. But we also want to learn from each other because this show helps. We're as real as Nigeria, and we try to help share our own experiences and other people's experiences so that we can all learn from each other. And I would like us as women to also, maybe we can help the men, tell them what we want. Maybe they don't have a clue what we want.
What Mr. Olajide just said, though, it's like, you know, you're saying polygamy, but then cheating continues. It's like there's no limits, there's no end to this thing. You're saying if you give a man 100 women, he will still find a way to cheat more than that.
My husband said something, when we're talking about this, and I'll come to you, Mariam, he said that, what differentiates a man from an animal? Dogs go around sleeping with everybody.
Yeah.
But what makes you a man? Because you have brains, you're smarter, you can stay and say, you know, you can make a decision to stay with one person. That's the decision that makes a man a man. When you're a dog, like an animal, there's no difference between you and a cow and a goat because you just go around sleeping with anything.
Well, let's bring the distinction home. So, polygamy, yes, but you can't, there's incest. Then there's, you know, but for animals, you see a cock grow, get on his mom. That's an animal. In humans, there are rules to this thing.
Yes.
So you cannot just say that you give a man 100 women because they are polygamous in nature.
Who give them that name?
Yes. Okay, so the last time we spoke about it, I mentioned the fact that, because we need to always talk about these Africans that always feel it's our own God-given right to be polygamous, you know. And the truth is that it is not just for African men. All men feel the need to sample. Just like you mentioned earlier, it's not really about the duration, it's just about the fact that they want to be with everyone, however tiny the minute the minute is with the person, you know, the duration is with the person.
Just for counting.
And I mentioned then that civilization has moved cultures from that situation where they feel that they have to be with every woman. And what civilization also did was it recognized that when a man has that right to just be with every woman, the women are the ones that suffer for it. And now that we're like, what we have, marriages between partners, marriages where, or relationships where we're building a home. So there used to be a time where the man could just have many women. All he had to do was just be with you, have the children, and move on, or stay with you. There was nothing else required of the woman in that relationship, and there was nothing else required of that man in that relationship. But we constantly evolve, we constantly develop, we're constantly growing, and we're moving towards where we know that this situation where we are now, this sort of marriages where we are now, that we have now, would only thrive if both partners are committed to each other, and that there's a cost for wanting to be with different people. It would affect this family that you're trying to build. So when we say that it's an African thing, what we're saying to ourselves is that we're refused to evolve, we're refused to grow, we're refused to be exposed, and we're refused to put in the commitment and the work to build
the easier path.
Yes, to build our families. And what we're saying is that yes, we can be like any other animal. All animals are the same, but some have taken, like humans, have taken time out to develop themselves. So
let's take this call from Faye. Faye, are you still there?
Yeah, hello, good morning.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
About what Zainab said, I feel like a lot of times men just find a way to come up with different reasons to justify the things they do, which really don't make sense to me. And if we're going to do that, let's also hold the same standards for women. It should not only apply to men. And on that light, I feel like a lot of married couples, they are very, very shy about sex conversations. A lot of couples don't talk about sex. They feel embarrassed or they feel some type of way to talk about sex with their partners. Or you might even think you are having great sex life with your partner and deep down they're not satisfied, or deep down they are overly tired, or they don't like how it's done. Or one thing or the other is the problem, but they don't know how to approach this conversation. So I feel like couples should learn how to be more open to one another.
Thank you so much.
Beecee,
no, I wanted
to say that we should tell men that communication is also part of that intimate relationship.
Yeah, we'll come to that, but I want us to also teach men. We're going to in about the next 5 minutes. But Beecee, they say that that's how they are wired.
Who wired
them? Coach now. So how do they wire? How are men? Because they keep saying that's how they are wired.
God is not a mistake electrician. He did not wire anything like that, because when he made Adam, he gave Adam Eve. That action was significant. He gave Adam Eve. Even when Abraham was, you know, we don't have a child. It was Sarah that forced him to carry Hagar. And afterwards, what did God say? God said, put her away. Because God recognized that she was not a part of the original design. He said, put her away. Read your scriptures. I read in between the lines.
There's another scripture I said.
No, hold on. God never said you should take more than one. It was man. Out of selfishness, I want to, this one is beautiful, this one is not enough for me. This one's backside is not as big.
Didn't God say that,
this one, that one
David, I'll give you, but if you wanted more, I would have given. Who did God give?
Before David was made king, what did God tell the people of Israel? Say, you are requesting for king. I think you're not right for it. But these people will come. They will become kings. They will take your women. They will do this. It was a permissive will. That was not God's original design. Let's read from the beginning. So please, hold on now. You read it from the beginning and you follow. Before the kings had access to wives and everything, God had warned them that you wanted kings, you will have kings, but this is what they will do to you. It was not in the original design.
For
Bible scholars, they will tell you. Okay. So, for me, monogamy is you understanding the pact you have, and two shall become one. How many one do you want to become with other people?
Each person now.
No, you two. One. That's
a connection.
No, that's a miscalculation. I'm talking from my own scripture.
I know you say connection. This was a miscalculation.
Hold on. You know, I'm talking from my own religion. You have your own that you are allowed to have as many. I'm talking about monogamy. And that monogamy is for us to understand that as human beings, we have a responsibility. And when you say that a man is wired that way, do you think women are not? We need to start telling these men the truth. Do you think women don't see fine guys and say, wow, this guy is a bloke? Yeah. We do. Absolutely. But because we have vowed, we hold ourselves and control and be disciplined enough to say, I am committed. Do you know how many women that remove eye from things that they would have done on a normal day? If we make it open, you will know who is more wired than others. So carry 5,000 people in a day. Go and check people that do it as a profession. How many people do it in a day? Can you do more than 10 person in a day? You can't.
No, why is it 10? It's too much.
So when you finish the first one, you need to relax before it starts off for the second one. We don't need to relax. Now fire go. You know we are wired. So if we're talking about wired, men need to understand this. If we're talking about wired,
I feel brutalized.
We have a better wiring. We have a better capacity to do it more than. But because of discipline and because we understand that we are homemakers, we're here to build, we're here to nurture. Everybody holds themselves together. So you men, hold yourself together.
That's what I said. High five.
But your nature and Mariah's nature and everybody's nature
is different, yes.
So you're a wire go, you can wire go.
You wire off and go.
I can't wire anywhere. I cannot wire.
I've been once a week wire. I'm tired.
You.
Hey! The only person that can talk on this thing.
So,
no.
We know Nima.
Don't know Nima. The only person that can say it categorically that now is me. Me, everybody knows that me, I'm not. I'm a judge.
No, we are not Mr. Brown. Don't know what Mr. Brown.
Don't mind that. You don't like
so the truth is people's nature are different. And so, because of that nature per person, there's a room so that we don't have. In Islam, for instance, what the only concern is the sanctity of marriage and lineage. If a man was allowed, like the last scholar said, to every 100 women still cheat, there will be a problem. At some point, you will not know where you put everything. You understand? So there's a limited form of polygamy so that when your excesses, whether on control or your control is limited, you can no longer stop yourself. You can extend per one and extend, and still be able to account for. So you see this, I'm sowing my seed up and down. You must account for seed that you're sowing. So there's a way to go about it. For instance, the story of Ibrahim that you said is why surrogacy is being debated in Islam. In Islam, for instance, if a woman can't have children, rather than just say, take my eggs and, there's a line to that family lineage and marriage and sanctity of the lineage that limits you. Instead of that, your husband must bring in a woman. Not that you go out and just, people just be so, no. You will bring in that woman
and do it properly.
IVF is allowed if you can carry, but surrogacy is limited. Adoption is limited. There are ways that, these things spread, and there are rules to these things.
Interesting. So now, going back to what do we want? Because as we wrap up very soon, we need to now advise men, because men are doing bragado, acting as if they're conquering, but you're not really conquering anything. So what can we do to educate, just a few minutes, what can we teach them? What would like?
Men
is it the same what we women are telling the men what we want, so that they can stop bragging and actually do the work. Now, you don't have to treat us like the Oyimbos are giving us flowers, chocolates, and other. Some people might like it. No, some people might like it. Others might not. But what do we want? How do you start the process before you enter the jackpots? Who wants to start?
What?
No, okay, let me rephrase. How do
okay,
we?
so
How
what
do
is
men, not when you enter Jerusalem. Before you even go to Jerusalem. Before you enter Jerusalem.
Almost came out of the socket like
no.
But really, I get what you mean. And just to keep it simply, it's just communication. So now you understand. Eat that humble pie. Every man, wherever you are. I just realized, man, I have to communicate. One part of the job is my side. The second part is on her side. Have you enjoyed this? Did I, get you to Jerusalem? Those are you must have that conversation. It is not done when you are done. You must have the conversation all the time and as you build. So, and I think that's why a lot of people will encourage. And when you invest in communication, you realize you will not have time to be having that communication with every other woman that you meet. So, it will encourage you to want to do better with the partner that you have.
With side chicks, it's easier.
Because they don't want anything else from you.
No.
The women give you what you want, and you give them what they want. It's a transaction, and it's done. They're not asking for extra love and attention and what blah blah blah. You are there to get your rocks off, and she's there to get what she can get, and she moves on.
Even when they ask for those things, the side chick understands that she has a job to satisfy and make you happy. So sometimes they fake that, you did so well today because they are looking after the money they want to collect. But your wife will not fake it. You can't be faking anything now. I can't be faking anything for anybody. If you know hit them, you know hit them. We'll have a conversation. So the first thing is to settle down and focus on the wife that God has given to you. When your eye is in one place, you are better focused. You pay more attention.
It's master that one.
Yes, master that one. Master how to get her to El Dorado. That when you touch her like this, and start from the day. You don't have to wait till it's time. So your auntie, time don't come. There we go. You start. You can't treat your wife badly all day and come at night and want to get satisfied. You send text messages in the office. Prepare her mind, buy her flowers, make her prepare, because sex is mental.
It may not be flowers. Come and help her wash plates. If you come back and something.
Whatever her love language is,
just reduce.
Prepare her to that point where she is open and ready, and then always talk to her, even in the process. If you need help, be humble enough to ask for. This is my limitation and all that. And two of you will go find a sex therapist, a sex coach. Two of you will find help together.
Talk your ego aside.
Nima, what's your advice to women?
I wanted to jump on what Beecee said. So some men misunderstand submission to mean that whenever I come to you, you must. Islam, you hear me say, the angels will curse you because I'm not satisfied. You didn't allow me. You cannot abuse a woman from morning till night. And abuse doesn't necessarily mean physical. Make her unhappy, make her unwholesome and all of that. And then in the evening, you say, Alpha. If she's not happy, she's not happy. Yeah. And, and so the angels too will curse you. I'm just saying, I'm not the prophet. But for me, for instance, respect is a major love language. So appreciating me, you can spend the whole day praising what I've done, appreciating me, and that's for me, in my own language, in my own love language. So it's not about money for some. Do whatever pleases that woman, and at the end of the day, you just might be halfway. If you cannot reach, she will help yourself.
Get help too.
She will help herself.
That one is sweet words, You have to say it right, and with the right accent
in English.
too. The right in English.
They're doing grammar.
The music, I don't know how happened. Mills and Booth entered my brain. I don't know. Mills and Booth.
The right accent.
With right accent, Hi, sweetheart,
Stop discriminating people for their accent.
Let's get down, honey. Yeah, now you're talking.
He's giving us
What's Kilonshele? Are you all right? See you Monday. Bye-bye.
Drama inside this.
I'm in trouble. Have a lovely weekend.